Jace Denman for Flag Family Media. I'm with head coach Tim Bergstraser of your MSUM Dragons. Coach, tough weekend last weekend. A couple of really tough, grinded out kind of games. What did you learn about your team last weekend?
Well, I mean, it's all the same, to be honest. We playing a lot of tough teams. Teams are trying to take us out. And, I mean, we showed that we know how to win ugly games, whether it's going in our direction or not. We finally had our first loss, and we've been fortunate enough to be on the opposite end of that, in the winning side. So it's more so I'm just curious to learn about our team right now, what we're going to do this weekend. Mm-hmm. You know, from our team this last weekend, I learned that they're still going to fight, they're still going to try. We made some mistakes. That's part of basketball sometimes. We just made too many. But now I'm just curious to how are we going to respond moving forward here, because some teams when you lose, it's all right. Now what are you made of?
Well, when you talk about that, then I mean a lot of times you have long winning streaks, and if those winning streaks are snapped, it's a chance for you to start a new winning streak, number one, and number two, it's a chance to kind of rebound and maybe reset a little bit. I know we talked to Jacob Jennison a moment ago, and he talked about really focusing on themselves this week, the team itself, rather than any outside noise. So what can you say about the process when it comes to kind of resetting after a loss, after a long winning streak?
Yeah, and we tried to say it along the way of that winning streak, and it's like it's easier to say it when you lose, but it's like it shouldn't take a loss to kickstart us to play better. Mm-hmm. And you could say that as much as you want when you're winning, but you don't want that to happen in the end. But it did. Mm-hmm. So you anticipate your guys are gonna have a little more fire underneath their belt, and we have to, because the schedule moving forward, it's tough. And I mean, Duluth's a dang good basketball team coming in tomorrow. Concordia St. Paul's a dangerous offensive team. So again, I'm just more so curious on how are we gonna respond. They should be fired up to play. They should be jacked up to compete on their home court. We still, in my opinion, we need to play better at home. Yes, we've been winning, but it's just we need to play better basketball for full 40. And that's a tough goal. Like, I understand that, especially in this league. But I think that's a big thing for our team. Like, how can we try to execute on both sides of the ball better and do the best we can to play a full 40, which is not easy.
No, it never is. It seems as though your team so far this year has been a team that can really make some adjustments at half and come out focused in and get that lead back, say, in the second half. So what can you do as a team to come out a little bit quicker, kind of establish a lead, rather than kind of playing even with the team and then having to kind of make some adjustments at halftime? How can you get up to a fast start?
To be honest, we don't make a lot of adjustments at half. I mean, there might be something very minor, but it's usually going to come back to, guys, we just got to have more energy and focus and do what we do better. Mm-hmm. And that's we've heard a lot of times, like after a win, like, hey, great adjustments at half. It's like, we didn't really make any, like, if you want me to be honest. And there might be some in the course of a game where it's like, hey, guys, we need the energy, we need the fight, we need the consistency, and just the value in the possessions. Like, there's so much that goes into winning a basketball game, and I'm gonna take so much blame on it. I think we got loose. Even just the last couple of games that we've been winning. I mean, we're getting loose in some areas, and that's a lot on me. And I got to make sure I'm holding these guys accountable. And they know when they're making mistakes, but we gotta. I don't want to reinvent what we're doing. Mm-hmm. We're gonna have to tinker some things a little bit, but we just got to get back to doing what we do, and making adjustments along the way.
It's simple enough. Sometimes it's hard to execute, but simple to say. When we look at this weekend, Minnesota Duluth, Concordia St. Paul coming in. Obviously, Duluth is a team that has been either ranked or they've received votes nationally. Concordia St. Paul, like you said, dangerous offensive team. What do these two teams present for challenges to your team this weekend?
Yeah, so Duluth, they're bringing back basically everybody from their Central Regional Championship team. It's a high-level veteran group with a lot of experience. They got some guys that could really fill it up, multiple double-digit scorers. I mean, you just never know who's going to go off that night for them. So they're going to be big, they're going to be physical, they're going to try to push us around. I think they're going to do a lot of stuff just trying to get to the rim. But again, they got a bunch of guys that just know how to play. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, we got a tough task, and, we're still going to try to worry about us, but we got to try to execute a game plan going into that. I know they want to score. I know Wick, worked with him for a couple of years here. So we're both going to have a little more fire underneath their belt. We want to beat each other. Yeah. I mean, let's be honest. So it's and they're always competitive games. Yeah. Now they've had our number every time they come here, unfortunately. Mm-hmm. I mean, they beat us by basically 20 the last two times they've came here. So, hopefully, selfishly, hopefully that's a major difference coming tomorrow. But yeah, and then going into Concordia St. Paul, like I said before, they can really shoot the three. They got a guy named Jordan Horn, very talented scorer. I mean, he can score. He doesn't really need the screen or nothing sometimes. Right. He just knows how to score. And those guys are hard to guard, and you just try to make their life difficult. And Drew Blair's the same way from Duluth. So you just try to limit them as much as you can, make their life difficult. and then we just can't have too many mental lapses and let anybody else go off, because then it's to make it really difficult to beat a team.
Exactly. All right, well, Coach, we'll be here on Saturday covering that Concordia St. Paul game, so best of luck. Obviously tomorrow and on Saturday, we'll see you there live on the court, and we'll look forward to talking to you again next week.
Yes, sir. Look forward to it.
All right, this is Jace Denman for Flag Family Media. We'll talk to you next time.